Hello, hello, hello. I'm Kathy J. Welcome to the Kathy J. Show. Good, I love saying that. Thank you so much for joining us today and for watching us and for following us on social media. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much. You know, tomorrow it'll actually be exactly 1 month since that we've been on the air as the Kathy J. Show. Isn't that crazy? 1 month. It's still crazy for me because I've wanted this show for so long. So if you didn't already know, I've always wanted a talk show. Since I was a teenager, I've wanted a show with a bigger platform to help people, to get their voices out there. And so over the years, I would tell people, one day, I'm gonna have a talk show. And guess what? It happened. So it's only fitting that Today, my guest is somebody that I love immensely. I adore her. I've actually seen her grow up. I want to say she was around 10 years old when I first, but then I'm actually obviously aging myself. But yes, her mother, that's her mother. So the taller girl right there is Shay, who will be talking today. But her mother, adorable. She and I back in the day, we worked at a call center. That's right, all you people on the phones, shout out to you, I did that. Her mother is adorable because her name is Adorable. Adorable was one of the lights in my life at that job. Oh, any of you that have worked at a call center floor, you know, you need as many lights as you can find in that place. So always find the people around you, okay? That's what I always want you to know. Find the lights, the people that make you happy. And Adorable, she was definitely my light. So I would always tell her whenever I got a chance to, when my career was starting, because 20 years ago, you know, I was just starting in radio. So whenever I'd get the chance to audition and I had an overnight shift or I was, going and doing like a cut-in or anything I did, she was there supporting me. Whenever I got to the thing, we'd pull our earbuds off and be like, hey, how was that today? How did it go? How was your thing this morning? She's been the most supportive girl to my career and I love her to death. So when I got this show, I had to call Adorable and I had to call her daughter Shay J. I had to tell him the news and we all started crying. And being as amazing as Adorable is, she remembered immediately a day back in the day when we stood in my prize closet, because I had a prize closet because eventually I got off the phones because I couldn't handle the phones. So I was that happy, crappy girl that gave you stuff for doing good on the phones. So we prayed in my prize closet. We prayed for me to get my TV show. And look, I got a TV show. So of course it was on God's timeline, not mine. God is good every day. So shout out to Adorable. Shout out to Pastor Emerson and now Faith. Thank you to everybody out there. And I'm so grateful that God put these women in my life, put so many of you in my life as well, because our paths are long, they wind, and so many good people are on them. So when you see one, you got to hang out with them. So I'm going to make good on my purpose for this show, everybody, and that is to help our community. So stick around, because coming up, Shay J and I are going to talk about the Black community and why all of us, regardless of color, should care. We'll be right back. The Colorado Lottery is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Colorado Lottery, play on. You're on camera 7, Shay. Welcome back to the Kathy J Show, this one over here. I want to talk to you today about our community. So let's be honest, here I am, I'm white, but I'm smart enough to know that my community involves everybody. It's all inclusive. It's the Hispanic community, the Asian community, the Black community. There are people in my neighborhood that are part of every community, but when they come into my community, we're all together. So the last year and a half, if that didn't teach us anything, personally, I think the history of the world has taught us that we need each other to survive. So my guest today, she's got a really long resume, everybody. My guest today is a journalist and international speaker and author, the creative director for Black Business Initiative. She's also part of the Free Think Zone with Brother Jeff, and she's one of the pioneers of the Black Boss Summit. Please welcome Shay J to the show.
I love that. What a great intro.
I love you. You know I adore you.
I love you. You made me feel like, I'm like, oh, I did that and I do that. Yeah.
Always remember what you do. Hang on, yes. I got some makeup going on right here, Shay. How's that look? Does it look okay?
You look great.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you look great.
She says I look good, Colleen,
yeah.
So no, I'm kidding.
No, stop it.
I love you. I'm not going to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. First of all, I want everybody to know out there, how long I've known you. You have known you since you were a baby.
Yes.
And it's so funny because people always ask, did Shay J take your name? Did she do the J thing because you were her mentor, the Shay J and Kathy J? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. She totally did.
I totally borrowed it. I thought it was a great ode to your mentorship.
I love that. Well, there you are. You and your mom,
my
adorable.
gosh, yes.
I have known you since you were a kid, and I just want you to know, growing up, watching you, you have taken every single opportunity that has come your way. You have created opportunities, and I just want you to know how proud I am. When I saw you speaking last year at Civic Center Park for the Black Lives Matter, I was like, there she is. Like, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. I'm so proud of how you are a voice for the people.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So
Thank you
yes.
so much. That
So
means
let's get into your
Yes,
voice. Okay.
I mean, that means everything coming from you. So thank you.
You know I
appreciate
feel that.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about when it comes to the Black community. You had mentioned the importance of shifting a mindset.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And let's start heavy.
Yeah, no, you just went right in. Dang, Kathy. Okay.
But it's about showing up, right?
Yes.
Supporting, educating.
Absolutely, and I think that's the huge thing. When we think about the mindset shift, this is what prepares us to be the better people in life, right?
Yep.
So I always tell people, like, I want to edutain. So I need the education with the entertainment and mix it together.
Yeah, you got to make it
You
fun.
have to make it fun. And when
Yep.
you know our culture, we're like entertainment and we're fun and we're all these great things. But we have to have a mindset if we're really going to get to a place of wealth,
Yeah.
if we're going to get to a place of really opening up institutions that we've been locked out of, we have to have a mindset shift. And we
Yes.
can't just be the buyers and the consumers. We have to now shift all those things to ownership.
Yes.
And what does it look like to lead and lead with integrity and all those things. And it starts with really, I think, implementing things, just some simple things like affirmations and
Yeah.
mantras. And like, how do you see yourself? How do you want to show up in the world? What do you value? All those things have to be at the forefront of what we do.
And I agree with you. I think that everyone should start out with the mantras. You had
Yeah.
12 affirmations, and I'm doing it right now. I'm writing what like, hi, Kathy, we're good people. But I think that, is there something in the Black community where that is needed more? Do you find that you're not getting the affirmations like you need?
I think so, and I think it just comes from a sense of, it was crazy. I had this conversation the other day with a panel, and we're talking about culture, right? And so a lot of things that are Black culture really came from slave culture. So they don't do us any real good, right? So it's this harm mentality. So we say things like, I want to make it out the hood, but then as soon as you make it out the hood, they're like, wait,
People
you forgot
hate
about
you.
us.
Yes.
They hate you, right?
Right, you forgot where you
forgot
came
about us.
from.
You forgot where you came
I
from.
get that.
Yeah.
Right, I'm like, what are you
and
talking about?
A lot of these things are not even just specific to the Black community when you really start digging into things.
Yeah.
And so we start looking at, what does our culture even look like? What are we being responsive to? And so a lot of things you start unpacking and you're like, oh, that's some self-hatred in there. These are some things that I have just put on me because I've heard them around the world.
Yeah.
So how do I show up now and show up in a space and really present myself the way I want people to feel me and see me?
Yeah.
So we have to start with the mantras. We have to start with the healthy talk, especially if you turn on the TV and you see us yelling and bickering and fighting and arguing and all these things that now they're making lots of money off of.
Oh, they sure
Yeah,
are.
no,
Yes.
they're doing it. You're like, okay, how do I combat all this?
Yeah, right.
That's real.
There's stereotypes, there's the images you're seeing on TV, there's everything that you're fighting, and you're trying to remind the people that are in the skin, you're worth it. You are not these images.
Hello?
Right.
Because they get caught up in that. They're watching these things and it's like, oh yeah,
Right, yeah.
let me imitate all this.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'm with you on that. So let's talk about since you mentioned a lot of stuff is stuff that has gone from slavery.
Yeah.
Let's talk about real fast generational wealth, the issues of the fact that, for a long time, Black people couldn't own property, and that's the biggest way to grow your income in America and your personal wealth. So if you don't have that, and then you can't pass it down to children, then they're starting brand new again as a generation.
Yeah.
So you keep losing when other generations are like, oh, I got my grandma's house, or I got 10 grand from my dad when he died. Like you guys you are now, thank God, but not enough.
No, we have a couple people here that are sprinkled that are doing it, and kudos to them, and I always applaud, when that happens. But as a whole, generationally, we've been set back so far, right? It starts with Jim Crow, it starts with redlining, it starts with really banking and lending and the systems that have been placed to hold us back. A lot of people don't know this, but 60% of Black people are not even banked. So when you think about 60%.
Are you kidding me? Like they don't have a banking account, a checking account? I got one like at my first job when I was, my first real job when I was 15.
Your first real job, I love it. But think of, 60%,
That's way too many.
That's way too many people.
But that's people that don't trust the system, and I totally understand that. That's generations of not trusting the system. I get it.
You're getting it.
Yeah, so how do I help that change? Because unfortunately, you need to be part of that system to grow the wealth.
You do.
And you need the wealth so you're not desperate and doing stuff that's stupid.
Stuff that puts you in jail, hello. And while you're in jail, then you're in jail for like a little ounce of weed, and now people are making millions off of a little ounce of weed. So
that is very true as well, right?
It's real.
Right.
Yeah,
How many black men are incarcerated in this country for weed when there are so many white people now making tons of money off of the weed? Yeah, so I totally get that. There are so many issues, and the layers are so deep.
The layers, and that's what the hard part about it, because I'm like, where do we start? How do we help? What does that look like? And one thing that I feel like now I have a clear sense on is entrepreneurship is the key. If I can get you to believe that you can have a successful business, you can make space for someone else. Now we are creating something that can actually work for everyone, right?
Yes.
Because it's entrepreneurship. And that means that we can get out of those, they really glorified a lot of industries that we've been stuck in. So everybody wants to make a soap, everybody wants to make a lotion, everybody wants to play basketball. And I'm like, wait a minute, what
There's so much more.
There's so much more out there, please.
Right.
So how do we get out of that, and how do we make room for entrepreneurs to start, to scale, to grow?
Right.
Like that has to be where we start really implementing change.
Yes.
And I think that's what the Black Business Initiative is all about.
Yes. Black Business Initiative, and that's what the Black Boss Summit is all about.
Hello.
So we're going to talk about that when we get back. We got to do a quick break, everybody. Don't go anywhere. We will talk about the Black Boss Summit coming up in about a week and a half. Are you ready?
Oh my God. Why would you say that out loud?
We'll be right back.
All right.
Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better. Yes. Welcome back to the show, everybody. So, according to Forbes magazine, the pandemic wiped out nearly half of all Black-owned small businesses. But one conference is ready to restore and reset the economic force of Black-owned businesses. It's the Black Boss Summit. It breathes new life into small Black businesses as well as the Black community in the Rocky Mountain region. People from all over come to this. It's very cool. So, Shay J happens to be one of the pioneers of the Black Boss Summit, and she's also the media creative director of the Black Business Initiative. There we go. So let's talk about why the Black Boss Summit. This is what we were discussing earlier.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's a culture thing.
It's a culture thing.
Support.
It is. It absolutely is. The Black Boss Summit is so necessary in a lot of spaces. I go to a lot of conferences, right? I love conferences. I love self-help. I'm like, how do I become my best version of me? But what I realized, I would walk in the room, and I would usually be one of maybe 3 Black people.
Right.
So it didn't always feel like me. I didn't really feel accepted, or the language wasn't, my necessary language. So I said, how do we really get to a space where we create this culture where people come in and feel like, oh, this is for me.
Right. I feel it. I understand the words that they're using, the examples they're saying.
Exactly. Someone looks like me, so I'm not like, can Black people
I can't relate to you. Right.
Sure?
I'm with you. Right.
And that's what the Black Boss Summit is all about. My partner, Jai, she had this vision a while back, and she was like, I am creating a space for us, and I don't want to feel bad about it.
Yes.
And I really was encouraged by her saying that. And I'm like, okay, so this doesn't mean it's only for Black people. Other people can come, but we've created a space now where we bring the top entrepreneurs, the top innovators, the top business leaders, the top professionals in, and we say, now teach our people. Let's talk about what we know. Let's build on this, and then let's build a network that can actually influence your net worth.
Right.
Like, let's do that. And that's a space for that.
And it's not necessarily Black people that own businesses. You just have Black people that want to get better and have a career change and network. It is a huge place to network. Yes, absolutely. And we just ran the promo that you have. Hill Harper, you got actor and author Hill Harper.
Gosh.
He's going to be your guest speaker.
I'm so excited about that. He's filming The Good Doctor right now. So when he accepted, he's like, I'm filming The Good Doctor, so can we make this happen? I was like, no, we have to make this happen.
We can, Dr. Andrew.
We can. Is that his name on that?
I think it's Dr. Andrew.
Oh, let me get I need to watch it.
Right.
Let me watch the show, an episode. I feel horrible. I know nothing about The Good Doctor. But he's an actor, he's an author, and now he's a fintech leader of the Black Wall Street app.
Yes.
And so it fits so much in the space of economic justice. Like, I don't think anything matters until we have economic justice. We can scream all these other things, but economic justice is what's going to push us forward.
Exactly.
And he's perfect for that.
Exactly. And so also you have my favorite. You got Amanda.
Amanda Gordon.
Amanda Gordon is she's the CEO. She actually owns her own auto dealership.
Oh my gosh.
First African American woman to own an auto dealership. So
that
cool.
phenomenal?
Yes.
That's phenomenal, right?
Uh-huh.
Amanda is a leader, and now she's a leader in the automotive space. And that's my girl, that's my sister, my friend. And when I came to Amanda and I was like, hey, I have some thoughts of how, I really could see you being a part of this. She was like, say less. I'm there. I got you. What do you need? How do I show up? And so we really Jason and I started talking about how do we make this a space now. I don't know if you guys have heard of Denver Startup Week, but Denver Startup Week is huge, right? There's all these different spaces you can go and be a part of it. How do we now increase the Black Boss Summit? So there's different stages and different spaces.
Yes.
And we have the person that's in automotive. We have, a politics side. We have an entertainment side. We have people that are really, business owners. We have all these different spaces. So that's what we're looking at, growing it out and having collaborative partners like Amanda Gordon that can help us get this really on a track to gain people coming to Colorado and being a part of the Black Boss Summit every year.
It's a 3-day summit, everybody.
3 days.
Can white people show up? Can I hang out?
Show up and hang out with us.
Yes.
You can show up, you can show out, you can do any of those things. And then if you don't feel comfortable in that space, you can actually just support someone else going, right? So buy a ticket for someone else. We have plenty of, because like you said, it hit our community hard. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs that can't afford to show up.
Right.
A lot of business owners or a lot of people that are just wanting to be in the room and they can't afford to show up. And so I always say, you don't have to show up, but you can send somebody else there.
Yes.
Because they want to be a part of it. And this is the first time we're doing 3 days. So when our ticket used to be a lot lower, what we're doing for the first time ever is we're doing free virtually. It's a free virtual event.
What?
But in person, it's $249 for the full weekend.
Yes.
So you get the full weekend experience, and everybody can't afford to be a part of that. But I feel like everyone who wants to be there should be there.
Exactly. So if you would like to help and support and send somebody that can't afford to go, all you have to do is go to blackbusinesssummit.com and the information is right there.
Go to blackbosssummit.com, click on the link, and you're good.
It's
Buy a
very
ticket
cool.
for someone. You can say I donated this, and we got you.
So I wanted to ask you, so speaking of black businesses, the pandemic wiped out nearly half of the small-owned black businesses. Can the Mile High City income city, what'd you call it, Mile High Income City?
This is the Mile High Income City, okay? I don't know if we can even.
Can they support black businesses? Black businesses have first it's from the loan.
Right.
Everything is, I feel like, against.
That's such a great question, Kathy, and I don't know how real I can be in that space.
I want you to be real.
It's a hard one because I feel like there's a space where we have so many things like the Black Business Initiative, your Metro Deeps, your people that are really helping black businesses sustain.
Yep.
And then there's all these things, that they're talking about implementing. But right now, I think the biggest thing is that if you're building a black business, you need to build a community.
Amen.
You have to build a community to survive. And that's what's going to help you survive.
Because you need the community to come in and support the business. Yes.
Period. So build a community, and then we got you. We'll help you with the business acumen and all the other things you need, but build a community.
Okay, so everybody at this event, a lot of notable speakers, local and national, like Shay J said. There's also, I got to give a shout out to my favorite DJs, because I've worked with all three of them that you got there.
Yes.
So a big shout out to KDJ Above, DJ Bella Scratch, DJ K-Tone.
Yes.
I love you guys.
They're phenomenal.
They've been I've had club nights with them, and I never have a bad time with any of those DJs. They're the best. So is there anything that you want to let other people know before we let them go?
The Black Boss Summit this year is definitely the place to be. And for the first time ever, we're doing our inaugural Pitch Black. So we like to practice what we preach. So we are awarding an entrepreneur with $10,000 for their business this year. So it's like Shark Tank, but it's my Black Shark Tank.
That's awesome.
So we've created this space now where we're like, this is something we're going to do annually. So this is our first Shark Tank. It's going to be phenomenal. It's called Pitch Black. And this is the first year we're actually introducing cannabis industry. So we're doing a cannabis panel.
That's awesome.
At Tetra Lounge. So we'll be at Tetra doing a cannabis with Wanda James, Vanna Davis, Brandon Banks, some of the key people that are in the cannabis industry. So we can say, okay, you've been locked out long enough. How do you get in this industry?
Yes.
How do you be a part of this?
Yes.
And how do you make money from the system that is really taking our black men away, taking our black women away? How do we make sure they're good?
That's
so we're
exactly
doing some new things this year, and I think people will really find a lot of value in that space.
Amen. All right. So for more information and to register for the Black Boss Summit, go to blackbosssummit.com. Thank you, Shay J. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Kathy J.
Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness. back, and guess what? I can't hear anything right now, but that's okay because it doesn't matter. So before we go, I wanted to say thank you again to my partners. You guys know I couldn't do this show without them. Thank you to Ramos Law, FitMD, Oakwood Homes, and the Colorado Lottery. Shout out to IKEA Centennial for this awesome set. Shay J even said, this is a great set. This is a great set. Although, Shay J, I tried to tell her, look, the cameras add 200 pounds.
No, like literally, I'm not this big. Like, what is going on? It's fine. We'll deal with it later.
I told her after the camera turns off, we're normal again, so it's totally fine.
I won't eat this year anymore. So
You're a dork. Okay, so before I let you go, what's one last thought you want to leave with people?
Oh my gosh, people! I think I'm gonna go to my favorite affirmation, and it's the best project you'll ever work on is you.
Yes.
And so I just want people to be intentional. Focus on your focus, and you will be focused on. Be intentional about what that looks like for you. Really dig deep. The pandemic shifts so many things for so many people. We're all busy. We're all scrambling around. But work on you.
Yep.
And do it intentionally.
Yep.
Find out what it is that you really seek out of life.
She's got 12 affirmations. You can find it. Just go to Shay J. You'll find her.
You'll find
Bye,
her.
guys. Love you.
Love.
Thank you, Shay J, for
Thank
being here.
you. I
Hi,
appreciate
adorable. I love you.